Top 5 best landing spots for Anthony Richardson. And I'm going to keep doing draft stuff. And, Gator fans, I'm curious to hear your feelings on this. I really do think for him, he should have stayed another year. Now, as a fan of a team, and I'm sure that Garrett also feels this way, that's on the Gator schedule, thrilled that he didn't, because he was good enough already, but getting better would have terrified me and really would have changed the Gators' arc this year. So, but top 5 best landing spots for him, and he was a combine monster. But the combine and the film kind of show two different things in that if he was the guy from the combine every second of the game, then he would be the first quarterback taken off the board, no question.
Is he the Mike Mamula of quarterback combine?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Right.
But that's why I think he needs to wind up in the best situation, because I think he is someone who can be great, but we'll see. Number 5, and this would be the highest pick I have him going at, the Panthers at 9. Look, Frank Reich's the coach. He knows quarterbacks really well. I don't see Frank Reich going into his first year without signing a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo or someone like that that's out there, or probably upcoming like a Jameis Winston or someone like that. So they'll have a veteran there that can maybe make him wait for a year and learn. And so I think the Panthers at 9 is a really good situation. I like Frank Reich. I know that didn't work out for him in Indianapolis the way that people thought it would, but that was because of bad quarterback decisions. I feel if they do better at that in Carolina, he'll do well, but we'll see, because that's an ownership and GM decision on down. But I do think that this could be maybe the highest place he could go. I would feel comfortable with their situation at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need somebody back there that's a bit more to the Cam Newton era than to whatever that's been the last several years, even though they're try and do the Cam Newton era all over again. That didn't work out so well. So let me ask you this, as somebody who doesn't follow this like super awfully closely. I know that we like Matt Rule, and so we give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to Carolina. But what other issues is Frank Reich facing here with this team outside of quarterback? I mean, how well set up are they to succeed? Is Anthony Richardson a missing piece that all of a sudden it's like, boom, you get in the turn the key and start driving?
I think they need one more offensive lineman, a tight end, a wide receiver to take some pressure off DJ Moore. I think they're fine at running back. They've got one of the best defensive ends in the league. They've got a really good young secondary. So I think they're closer than most would think. But I do think that they need to have a unified plan, which I don't think they had. Owner, GM, coach in the last regime.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
But
it started off well and then quickly went different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 4, the Titans at pick 11. Now this could change depending on what the Titans do. They've Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill are on expiring contracts. This is their last year for both of them. So would it be the worst thing for them to do this? I just don't think Anthony Richardson's going to get to 11, because there's going to be a team like the Raiders or someone who, if they don't get one of those other guys, that are going to say this. And look, I think this is not knowing what the new regime, at least general manager-wise, of the Raiders will do. This is a total Raiders move to go get him, but the Titans would be a good situation. Even if it is the last year for Tannehill and Derrick Henry there, then he can start the new era. Rand Carthon, by the way, the GM of the Titans, not that this is either here nor there, but was a Gators legend back in his day at running back. So maybe he has an affinity and makes something happen. And even if the Titans maybe moved up and got him, I wouldn't hate that for them either. So, but I think that that's a good thing and make it exciting. I know they drafted Malik Willis last year, but we saw kind of where he is. He's kind of a more longer-term project.
Would that make you hesitant then to draft Anthony Richardson for that precise reason that you're worried about?
Because of Malik Willis? No.
Yeah.
No. I don't think he's as long-term project.
Not because of Malik Willis, but that's what because of him, but just worried about doing the same thing all over again.
I think he's more of a sure thing than Malik Willis. I do. I mean, look, he's right, not. Yeah. Number 3, the Seahawks at 20. Just signed Geno Smith to a 3-year deal. And look, if he fell to 20, I think he's probably a steal at 20. Just like he would be a steal at some of these other 2 picks that you're going to see. But that's an organization that clearly I think is pointed in the right direction. They made the right decision with Russ Wilson. Geno Smith can continue to do his thing there. They've got 2 good wide receivers. They've got 2 first-round picks. They can pick pretty much whoever they want at that 5th or 6th spot, where I think they're at 5, and make something happen. Yeah, I think this would be a great spot for him. And maybe they have to pick him at 5 and pick somebody else at 20, but the Seahawks, to me, would be wise to maybe look at him, even after signing Geno Smith.
Yeah, but why if you just signed Geno Smith?
Well, it's only a 3-year deal, and you can get out after 2, and then he can wait.
You know the best time to draft a quarterback?
Is when you
don't need one and you have one. Yeah.
I think the Packers are really set up well with Jordan Love, because I think the Jets thing is going to happen. They're in California meeting with Aaron Rodgers, and once they do some ayahuasca and watch Wizard of Oz while Pink Floyd's playing, like they'll get that all worked out. But I think that if the Seahawks mimic that, because Jordan Love, I think, is ready to go in Green Bay, this could be kind of a similar situation. And again, look, Geno Smith's had 1 good year. That's why he only got a 3-year deal. So say he has another good year and then another one where it's kind of middling, and then you kind of just, all right, it's Anthony Richardson time there in Seattle.
I mean, I would hate that for Geno, but, guys do get the bag and all of a sudden kind of revert back to the median, I guess. But, I mean, his first few years in the league, I mean, I guess the first couple he was actually playing a lot, but even then his interception numbers were insane and his touchdown interception ratio was bad. And then he had several years of just nothing, really. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story that Geno's where he is, but yeah, I hope he keeps playing well and it's not just got a contract, get fat and happy, because, man, he waited a long time to make his mark, but he certainly made one last year.
Yeah. Number 2, the Lions at 18. They also have 2 first-round picks, 6 and 18, and they might have to draft them at 6. But the Lions, to me, again, they've got Jared Goff, who I think gets too much crap. I really do. I think he's a very fine and serviceable quarterback, if not good. He's been to the Pro Bowl several times. He's gotten a team to the Super Bowl. But I do think they've got to look longer term than Jared Goff. And this would be another situation, much like Geno Smith, where you could sit and wait. They've got weapons. Dan Campbell certainly did a great job there a year ago. It looks like there's some actual juice in Detroit for the first time ever. Not a bad go for Anthony Richardson to fall there.
Yeah, I mean, another spot where he can kind of just sit back and learn, I guess, and maybe that'll be what's best for him. But, yeah, hard to imagine that if there's a run on quarterbacks, he's just kind of sitting around as a backup option for people. But, yeah, I mean, that would be a great situation for him. Probably most ideal would be something along those lines. So, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and number 1, and look, I see all you guys, throwing out Washington. I'm sitting in this room with 3 Washington fans, and they all say no. So I'm not going to make that mistake. Number 1, the Vikings at 23. Kirk Cousins also on an expiring contract, and maybe it's just time for him to go to another place. And the Vikings are an interesting spot. They've Dalvin Cook, they've maybe got another good year out of him, and they might even let him go to get under the cap. They've got to re-sign Justin Jefferson long-term. So who's going to be the long-term quarterback with Jefferson? I don't think it's going to be Kirk Cousins. So who's that? Could it be Anthony Richardson? We'll see. Now, the Vikings might also be a team that might be set up well next year, depending on how this year goes, to get what's going to be another good quarterback class. And there'll be a lot of teams that, if they start off the year poorly and say are in the 1-6, 1-7 range, are in the Caleb Williams, let's not try too hard derby for this thing. But I do think that the Vikings, I like what they have going. I like what they have going at GM, at coach. Wouldn't be a bad spot for him to sit and wait for a year.
Caleb Williams, then Drake May, and whoever else we're not even thinking of
Jordan
right now. Jordan Travis, yeah, shoot. And probably some others that, if we want to sit down. But those are 3 pretty big-time prospects right there. Why do you say Kirk Cousins? Just age-wise? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, and he's got 1 more year left on the deal.
Gotcha.
Like they're going to have to and Jefferson's going to break the bank here, as he should. They should... If he continues on the path, they should rename one of the Twin Cities to Jeffersonville because he's just that good. So, they're going to have to, make sure, okay, he's taken care of long-term. Is the long-term guy to maximize Justin Jefferson? Is that Kirk Cousins? I just don't think so. And age and, money, like, do you go younger and create, the new power duo? That's what I think is going to happen.
Quinn Ewers. as well in the next year's draft. Perhaps we'll see how that goes if he has a big year. But that's always been the expectation. But yeah, Vikings. Justin Jefferson is a incredible player. I mean, just superb player. So yeah, any quarterback would be lucky to play for him. But I say the no thing to Washington just because that's probably a good idea. I mean, maybe that's the secret key that's been missing. But man, it just seems like they've swung and missed on so many daggone quarterbacks that like a guy who's not, to me, like a sure thing, like a super all the way around polished, ready to go dude, I just get very anxious about as a Washington fan because they've had the project guys far too often.
Yep.
And I just don't have a lot of interest in them trying to make another project happen when they've failed over and over and over again. So, yeah, that's why I say it the way that I did. But I think I said yesterday off the air that if they were there and the opportunity arises, it would not shock me in any way. Oh, yeah, that's a total Washington pick. It's absolutely a Washington pick, but that's why I'm saying no, is because that's typically been the Washington pick. But, yeah, good luck to Anthony Richardson.
All right, Paul, very nice.